welcome back to Crochet by Night. Tonight it is episode 3, just me. Just tonight I'm just going to answer some questions from subscribers. We're going to get a chance to talk about the upcoming fun and very first live that I'm going to do. I have more guests coming up for Bedtime Yarn Tales. I know the first ever episode was Dana from Wanderlust Crochet. If you haven't watched that one, go down and look in my channel and you'll find that. She was so funny, and we got to see Dooley. And then episode 2 was Ladybird Loves, and she was very funny and enjoyable to watch as well. Episode 3 is just me. Episode 4 will be with Granny D. Thompson from Knit, Purl, and Squirrel. I love that name, Granny D, and I look forward to interviewing you. Episode 5 will be with David Brownie. David has a new channel out here on YouTube, and I think you'll enjoy getting to know David. I've also sent out some emails, so fellow YouTubers, if you get emails from Crochet by Night Designs, it's me begging you to come on and let me interview you. There are 3 in particular that Dana from Wanderlust Crochet recommended, and you 3 should already have an email. If you don't have the email, you might look in your spam or your junk folders, but those 3 YouTubers are Joe from Joe's Web. Been watching you, Joe, and Dana has just sang your praises. Another one is Laura from Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming. And Laura, my niece lives in Alaska. I know that's where you live. My sister lived there for 8 years when her husband was in the military. My nieces and nephews grew up there, and I've always wanted to visit and never got an opportunity to, so it'd be great to talk to you about Alaska. Nicole from Addicted to Yarn, I've sent you an email. I've also sent an email out to Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches. Summer, I love watching Summer, and I got an opportunity to watch her this week. Just a few days ago, her sister Bree did a bead talk, and she makes rosary beads. And I'm not Catholic, but I sure do love and support anybody's art where they put an effort into handcrafting something. And I tell you, those were beautiful rosaries. And so she has an Etsy shop called, what is it called? Beads of Hope by Bree. So if you are interested in rosaries, or you know somebody who is, or you just want to see some beautiful handcrafted work, go check out her Etsy shop. I put it down in the description box. As also, anybody I mentioned here today, I put their links to their YouTube channels down in the description box. Thank you so much for all your support. I've been so overwhelmed with love and support from the YouTube community, from the viewers, from the subscribers, that I just can't believe it. And it just makes me every day want to get up and do something new and exciting for you. This may not be it today. So earlier I mentioned Dana from Dana's Wanderlust Crochet, and she has a fantastic charity that she mentioned in her video a couple of days ago that I wanted to also highlight as well in support of that. The charity is the Shadow Warriors Project, and I'm going to put a link in the description box for everyone, but it's the Shadow Warriors Project, and go look at Dana's video when she talks about that. That is a really good charity, and I'm in total support of anything having to do with our veterans. I'll tell you, and giving back projects for veterans. My dad was on the cleanup crew of World War II, and he was wounded when an enemy scout had been in the brush and did not know peace had been declared, and the enemy scout came out. The enemy group came out not knowing, and my dad was on guard duty, and he raised his weapon to fire to show, to warn his troop, his group, that, and as he did, he received a bayonet in through his lungs and up into his arm, and shoulder, and he spent over a year in Letterman General Hospital in California after that happened. That was years before, obviously before I was born. Mom was 37 and he was 42 when I was born. I'm the youngest of 8 kids. And so my husband was also in the Army. He served overseas. My brother-in-law was a career Air Force man and served several tours of duty in Desert Storm, Gulf War. I mean, he was sent overseas multiple times during wartime. My niece currently serves in the Navy, and very proud of her. She's an awesome young lady. My brother was an airman in the Air Force. His son is also in the military. So we have a family of men and women who have served their country. And so anytime you're talking about a charity who has a charity that supports military veterans, those are things that are close to my heart. So, okay, so let's go to the questions about me. And like that wasn't about me already, but let's go to the questions about me. I'll answer those quickly, and then we'll look at somebody else's work, which I'm really excited about. I'll give away the Furls hook, and then we're going to talk about the elfing exchange. Yeah, the elfing exchange. I love that, the elfing exchange. Why did I choose Crochet by Night as my channel name? And many of you already know the answer to this, but for those of you who are new, I chose Crochet by Night because I work during the day and I crochet by night. I've had the name Crochet by Night Designs for many years. This is really, but I've only had a YouTube channel for a short time. And I've had the YouTube channel. I started this YouTube channel this year because of COVID, because I work directly with students or clients, and they would come in and we would do a giving back project twice a year. Well, when COVID hit, they were unable to come in to the office and into the classroom, so I started doing my YouTube channel so they could practice their basic stitches and continue to learn some crochet. Okay, the second question, what is your day job? Well, I've worked in the human services field for almost 25 years. I started out straight out of college as a juvenile probation and parole specialist, so a probation and parole officer, if you will. I've been a licensing specialist, a programs manager, and a program process administrator. I was the administrator of the Office of Background Investigations, and am currently the director of a program that is a special program, which is a cooperative program between Department of Human Services and a local community college. And what we do is we work with single parents receiving state assistance who want to become self-sufficient and get off state assistance and want to go to college. So it's my job to help make them employable and ready to face the job market, as well as to get that community college degree, that associate's degree. So it helps them move beyond state assistance, and it's a fantastic program. It's rewarding and so beneficial for single parents to watch them become self-sufficient and be able to take care of their children on their own. And I'm telling you, it is so heartwarming. The students who come through the program are amazing. So the next question is, are you married and do you have kids? Yes, I'm married. I've been married twice. I was married nearly 20 years the first time, and have been married to my current hubby for 6 years. We've been together 10, but we've been married 6 years. I have a daughter who is beautiful, smart, personable, and intuitive. I wish I'd been half the mother that she is to her children. She's an amazing mom. She and her husband have 3 children, all of which are under the age of 2. Yeah, you heard me, 3 under the age of 2. they have a set, they have an adorable set of twin boys, which my heart. Oh my gosh, these boys are just so funny. I wish I could show you videos of them. You guys would not believe how hilarious these little boys are. Anyway, so she has the twin boys, and then just 8 weeks ago she had a little girl. And so she and her husband have 3 under the age of 2, and I'm a very, very proud grandma. So I also have a 28-year-old son who is handsome and witty and kind and very sensitive to the world around him. When he was little, he was the first one to check on me if I was sick and hug me when I was down. He's a very good writer and a lyricist, and just all around a gentle young man, gentle, wonderful young man. Although he stands like 6'3", so little's not really the right word. And he's 28, so he's a grown man. I tend to forget that. When I married the current Mr. Crochet by Night, whom I called the hubby, when I married the hubby, he had 2 boys of his own. That sounds like the Brady Bunch. He had 2 boys of his own. Okay. Anyway, so he had 2 boys of his has 2 boys of his own. They are also grown. He has a daughter-in-law, and he has 3 grandchildren. So he has 2 grandsons and a granddaughter, and I have 2 grandsons and a granddaughter. And yeah, it really is starting to sound a little bit like the Brady Bunch. So I get to see my kids and grandkids nearly as much as I would like to. It's definitely hard with COVID. And so I've got my fingers crossed that I get to see them at Christmas. So I'll let you know how that goes. The next question is, what kind of music do you prefer? Well, I guess I love all kinds of music, but my go-to music when I'm driving is 60s, 70s, and 80s country. Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Loretta Lynn, George Strait, did I say George Jones? Statler Brothers, Bellamy Brothers. That, that's just to name a few. I can name a lot of country artists. But when I'm feeling feisty, I listen to some 60s and 70s rock, and even some disco. Yep, I adore Bob Seger and the Bee Gees and Fleetwood Mac and Elvis. So I'm kind of from that era that grew up listening to them as well. In my high school years, which was way back in the 80s, I listened to artists such as Prince and Cyndi Lauper, Queen, and Madonna. So I had a little bit of a wild side for a while there, but I'll go back to my country roots. The next question is, do you knit? No, I do not. I don't knit. I don't know how to knit. I would love to learn to knit, but right now I have a lot on my plate, and that's just not going to happen anytime soon. But I really love to see people knit, and I love to see the knitted work when it's finished. It always looks so good. Okay, so the final question about me tonight is, what is the hardest thing about having a YouTube channel? Okay, so for me, it's time management, for sure. I have my family that I've already told you about, and my day job, which I mentioned as well. I have an 88-year-old mother who lives across the street, and she has late onset Alzheimer's. My sisters and I have been trying to maintain her in her home, which is becoming increasingly difficult. It's very challenging. And so in addition to my day job and my family, my mom living across the street, I have this YouTube channel. And I'm working on my PhD in human services. So I've got a little bit on my plate some days. So it's very crucial for me as part of my week to have some time management. If one thing goes wrong, like my mother fell twice in 1 week, she didn't get hurt, but you have to go over and get into her home and help her up, because once she gets down, she can't get back up again. Anyway, when that happens, it kind of just throws everything off. And so sometimes I'll be like, I'm going to do Bedtime Yarn Tales every Saturday night at 7. No, I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best. And if I don't get it done, I'm pretty flexible. I don't get it done. But what I will do, if I set an appointment, say, to interview you for Bedtime Yarn Tales, see how I threw that in there, if I to interview you for Bedtime Yarn Tales, then I'm definitely going to keep that appointment or let you know ahead of time. Anyway, so enough about that. I'd rather interview all of you than have to sit here and talk about myself. It's time for some show and tell. So I'm going to show you some pictures that some subscribers sent in of their work, and we're going to talk about that, and then I'm going to choose a winner, and the winner's going to get, okay, you have to excuse me, I tore up the outside of this box not meaning to. When I was trying to get it open, I get excited, but the winner is going to get this beautiful, can you see it? I'll be sure and put a picture up here, Furls hook. It is, of course, it's a J, which is my favorite, but it is green. It is just beautiful. It's called Virgo 6mm Furls hook. So the winner of tonight's show and tell will need to send me your mailing address, and I will put this in the mail to you. So let's look at these different pictures of work.
This first piece is by Kay's Crochet Haven. Kay's Crochet Haven submitted this to me to show, and the pattern is by Nadia at Yarn Utopia. This next piece is from Angela at Angela's Crochet Creations. She says that everyone calls this a beach bag or a market bag, and so she makes these and uses them for project bags. And she also makes vintage jewelry to decorator items. This next submission comes from Jennifer Huckabee. She says that she has a grandbaby due anytime now, and that she was dabbling with some colors when she came up with this one. And congratulations on your new grandbaby. This next submission is from Ladybird Loves, and no surprise here that it's in the color blue. It's her own design of a winter scarf using macaroons, as she calls them, and she said she was making this when she made mini berets.
And what I have done is I have placed little thumbnail pictures of each one of the submissions into a drawing and randomly allowed the drawing picker to pick one. And so the winner of the first ever Bedtime Yarn Tales Show and Tell for subscribers is Angela's Crochet Creation. Congratulations to the winner. The last thing I want to talk about, and by the way, did you see my earrings? Santa? I love dressing up as an elf. I am, having never been alive before, this is going to be interesting. I need some volunteers, some moderators, because on December 2nd at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, we're going to, anybody that comes and joins my live has an opportunity to play Elfing Exchange with me. The Elfing Exchange is like Dirty Santa or White Elephant, and I have 20 prizes. Guys, I have 20 prizes. I have 20 prizes in sacks ready to go. So you'll come into the live, and then once you're in the live, it's like, okay, say you're number one, the first person that's selected, and you'll give me a number from 1 to 20. Now, let's say you choose 13, my favorite number. You're going to pull out, I'll pull out number 13, and I'll open it for you, and you'll get to see what's in the package. So the next person drawn can either steal your prize or pick a new number. And we're going to do that just like Dirty Santa or White Elephant all the way till all the prizes have been picked. And then the very first person to go can go back around and have his or her choice of any of the prizes that are not frozen. So they can be picked, they can be stolen twice. And I'm going to try to provide this live elfing games, elfing exchange, but I need moderators. So if you're a fellow YouTuber and you're willing to be a moderator for the elfing games, please, 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 please let me know. I'd sure love to have your help. Anyway, it has been fun. This has been Bedtime Yarn Tales, episode 3, just me. And I'm going to let you go now, and I will see you soon. As always, have a good night.